Red Hot is presented by Betano. The game starts now. Here are your hosts, Brent Wallace, Jason York, and Bobby Ryan.
Hey everybody, Brent Wallace alongside you, Jason York and Bobby Ryan as the Bobby Ryan birthday week continues. Bobby, what's the latest? Is there more golf? Do the people let you win on birthday week?
No, yesterday was nice and quiet, just a kind of a recovery day, and didn't leave the house. Didn't do much. Today I got the kids. I'm going to pick them up shortly, and then I got the three of us for the next couple days, so I'm excited.
Oh,
one of them's got to find a way to buy me dinner on my birthday. Fireplace works. Hot tub works again. So yeah, things are looking up here at down in College Grove.
So one of the kids is carrying the piggy bank into Applebee's, is what you're telling me.
That's right. Somebody's got to find a way to get it done because I'm not buying.
Yorkie, how are you, my friend?
Good. No, I'm good, Wally. Have we talked? Did I tell you guys this? There was like a giant turkey in my backyard the other day. Like this thing was like probably 60 pounds sitting on my fence, and my dog's just in the backyard just staring at this thing. I'm like, what are you looking at? I go back and I see a giant turkey. Like, and I live in a neighborhood. This isn't like farmland, rural Canada. This is Westboro. There's people walking, people biking in the winter. There's usually no turkeys around. So sitting right in the backyard. And then it flew up into a tree. I was like, holy shit, I never knew those things flew. So, yeah, that's what I've been up to. Turkey watching.
Interesting that a fence sitter would be near your house, Yorkie.
Yeah, big fat fence sitter. That's great. Hey, Bobby,
well,
some
guy
guy
sit on the fence today.
Bobby, some guy, because Bobby said you tweeted something about a great song, and this guy actually tweeted me with lyrics to a country song, and it was actually pretty good.
I saw it.
It was pretty creative.
Yeah, it was.
I have chatted with Mike Fisher, so keep those lyrics handy. I will see what he thinks. Maybe we can ask him if we can line that up in the near future. There your turkey.
Look at the size of that sucker. That's good eating there. That's good.
I was gonna say, nobody got a hold of this guy.
No.
Well, looks like you took a photo with the Zapruder film.
Oh god.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well,
all right. Well, let's see if we can top to.
What would happen? What would happen in Nashville? That thing would be down in like 2 minutes. Someone's taking that down with a.
Oh yeah,
pistol.
Yeah. He's not getting
would
far.
Never have gotten to the backyard.
No. He'd be.
That would have been down in the street.
In somebody's oven.
Okay. Speaking of turkeys, the Ottawa Senators return home after going 1-4 on a 5-game road trip, and now they face a Colorado team tonight. Injuries: Thomas Chabot went down, Matthew Joseph, Parker Kelly. They called up Ridley Greig. There's so much going on. However, Tim Stützle, I thought, played well on this trip. You could see them. Well, all right, let me get to you. Do you guys think in that Edmonton game you could see positive turnaround? Now, both of you will understand what I'm talking about. When we talk, there are times when you lose games that you're in a losing streak, but you can see coming out of it, you're starting to do the right things. You're like, you could feel it building. Do you see that in the Edmonton game despite the 6-3 loss?
What do you think, Yorkie? Go ahead. Trying to.
Sure. Yeah, sure. They had some good looks. They had some good opportunities. They had their chances. But I said this before. Ottawa was getting, not they're getting a lot of breaks, but they're playing so well. They had that nice stretch where it's like they could do no wrong. But that is really hard to keep going over a long period of time if you're a team constructed like the Ottawa Senators are right now because of injuries, because of age, because of where certain guys are in their careers, because you have the goaltending issues you have. Both your 1 and 2 guys are hurt. Compound that with you don't have, as much as people want to shit on Thomas Chabot, he's not playing in that game as well. So, hey, did they play well? Did they play hard? Absolutely. Right now, where those two teams are, this time of year, importance of the game, what's on the line, Edmonton's just a better hockey club. They're a better team that is built right now to win. And yeah, hey, you can take some moral victories out of that game for the Senators, but I'll tell you right now, nobody in that dressing room's happy. Nobody's saying, hey, we learned from that game. Now let's go out. No, that was a devastating road trip for the group. And they got to pick themselves up off the mat and try and get on another one of those winning streaks. But hey, we're realists here. We're not trying to paint a picture that's not there. Hey, it is what it is. So are they happy? No. Did they play well? Yeah, they played pretty good, but it was not a good road trip.
No, it wasn't. I mean, I don't think they're looking at anything about that game saying we can see something to build off of with 15 games left, and now you're a point out going into that trip, or 2 points out, whatever it was. You're right back to 8. You lost your games in hand for the most part. Yorkie said it best. It's a devastating trip, and nobody's looking for moral victories anymore. That might switch after they play themselves out. They might be looking for something and things to build on for next year, but that's all this is about now, is setting that up for next year. I'd like to see one final push. You got 15 games left, but you come home from that road trip and you turn around and you got the Stanley Cup champs coming in. So it's a tall order, especially when guys are down. It doesn't feel like there's going to be a ton of enthusiasm to get back into the fight right now, but we'll see. They've always responded. I'm excited to see what they do after they're getting home and back into their place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, they played well at home recently. I don't know the update on Chabot, although they haven't moved him to the IR, so that's a positive. We'll get to lock of the day in a bit when they play Colorado tonight. Colorado just played last night against Toronto, won in a shootout. So more on that in a sec. I do want to talk, and I know we've talked a lot about Tim Stützle. It's like having, I don't know, Sidney Crosby on your team or Connor McDavid. You're always going to talk about the star all the time. I remember when Sidney Crosby was in his first training camp, and I followed him around everywhere he went for that entire training camp. Eddie Olczyk was the head coach, and I went to Eddie and was like, Edzo, I apologize, but every day I'm going to ask you about Sidney Crosby. Every day. It doesn't matter. And he's like, I get it. I understand. I will help you. So that's what I feel like when I bring up Tim Stützle. There's not a lot you can say, but there's a couple of stats here I just want to point out, because he had I thought he had played a strong game in Edmonton, scored the shorthanded goal, scored 2 goals. When you look at where he's at, his season is pretty impressive. Like points this year, he's at 73 already. One more point. He's got the second most points in the last decade for any Ottawa Senator. There's a lot to like about the way that he's had this season play out for him. And so I just thought that'd be something to point out. Plus, Brady Tkachuk needs one more point to set a new career high. He's got 67 in each of the last 2 years. That's another positive. So we're seeing just those guys continue to play. And then, as we pointed out before, just Timmy Stützle has the most goals in his first 3 seasons by any Ottawa Senator. He's at 68, yeah. And then he's passed Alfie and Yash and Havlat, and Brady can still move. No, he can't. I was going to say, but Brady's at 60 for the top 5. Like that's pretty good. Like I just wanted us to appreciate, or just let people understand, perhaps the season that Tim Stützle has been able to put together in what is, I guess, a tough year if you're not making the postseason. And I was good with arts and crafts. I thought this was a really good arts and crafts I did today.
Well done. Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Stüperb. I made the joke that I thought, I was like, we're talking about this kid again, but you kind of have to, because he just continues to play well and continues to give you new content. But, we said it, I think Yorkie might have mentioned, he probably doesn't have this year if Norris doesn't go down, and you're looking at a different kind of statistical year, but he's worked himself into the front spot of some pretty good company there in the goal scoring. But he's getting a lot of minutes. He's obviously talented and does things that nobody else on the team can do. So I've kind of paid more attention to him lately than just because of the fact that he's carrying the load offensively right now. He's been unbelievable. Think about how young he is still. When he really gets the understanding of the defensive side of the game a little bit better, he's going to be an Anze Kopitar type player, I think, with more skill than Anze, but at the same time, just unbelievable what he's doing. Really is. Every night you're like, this guy could go off for 4 tonight. You just don't know.
So, yeah. And Wally, I like it, eh? We're going positive to start the show here. I see what's going on here.
Well, you were just a bunch of negative at the beginning.
Well, the old, the Brent Bitterman was starting to get a little traction, and you don't want that handle. I get it. You got to embrace your bitterness. It's good. You are who you are.
I'm not bitter.
Anyhow, we'll stay positive here. We'll stay positive. It's all good.
When Tim Stützle touches the puck, you don't know what's going to happen, and that's what I like.
Hey, we all do. Hey, listen, I want to be positive here. I'll give Senators fans something to be really positive about here. Tim Stützle, yay, Bobby said it all. I don't know what more I can say. The kid's he's been a rocket this year. He's been tremendous. It's been his coming out party. But if you look at teams, if you're going to be a really good team in the future, you got to have that superstar game breaker. Hey, guess what, Senators fans? They got Tim Stützle. You need a guy that plays on the inside, that goes to the net, that is a son of a bitch to play against. And guess what? He's a leader. You got Brady Tkachuk. And you know what else they have? They've got a defenseman that is a rookie that's going to be a superstar in this league, in Jake Sanderson. So you have 3 components on your hockey team right now. And your oldest one is, what's Brady right now? 23, 24 years old. So if you want to be positive, people, look at those 3 chips you have. And I haven't even talked about the other players they have in the mix too, like a Norris, like a Batherson, like a Chabot, like the Jakob Chychrun, who pretty crazy when you think about it, how young Jakob Chychrun still is. So I get while people are upset the team's not going to make the playoffs and this is happening, but the sunshine is not far away for where this team is going. And Stützle is going to be right at the forefront, along with those players I mentioned, him and Brady Tkachuk. I don't know if there's another team in the league right now, maybe you guys would, that has 2 young guys on their roster right now that are at the top of their games, but do things so differently, how they produce offense and how they force the other team to do things like Stützle forces the other team's defense to back off through skill, through speed, through edge work. Brady does it through, hey, this guy's a bull in the china shop. I'm going to back up because I don't want him chipping the puck behind me because it's going to hurt. And then in front of the net, good luck containing Brady Tkachuk. So there's the positive, and that's not bullshit either. This is the truth about what the Ottawa Senators have able to assemble. And Stützle, yeah, hey, we can talk all day about him. He's been so good this year. So it's been probably the biggest positive to come from the season this year is the emergence of Tim Stützle.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more
Was
about
that
that.
so hard?
Hey, we've been
Also,
saying
by
it.
the
We've been saying this for 3 months. It's not something.
24 multi-point games for Tim Stützle this year. I started to go back through each season, and I got, I don't know, 12 years in or something. That's the most they've had in a while for multi-point games.
And Wally, Bobby said something pretty important there. In Stützle's life, he's never had to play defense. He's always had the puck. So this kid has, wait till he starts learning how to have body position in the D zone, how to have a good stick defensively, how to take away time and space with angling through the neutral zone. All those little things, they take a while to master at the pro level. When he gets that, man, this guy, he's a strong kid. He's a strong kid that skates as good as anybody besides McDavid in the league. So it's going to be, he's going to be a two-way centerman. It's going to be exciting to see him down a couple of years from now when he figures out the defensive side of things.
One more thing to talk about before we get to sponsor reads, and then we also do have story time today. A couple of interesting notes that happened on Bobby's birthday I'll bring up as well. But first, you brought up Jake Sanderson, and I'm just going to reiterate and point out just where he's at. So again, we'll call it arts and crafts. Most points by a Sens defenseman in his rookie season. He is now tied with Erik Karlsson for second in a season. Third. Wade Redden is 4 points up, and then Andre Mazzaros is 13 points. So he stands a chance. He should likely become the second highest scoring defenseman in a rookie season for the Ottawa Senators. And then just how his season looks, he has to get Calder consideration, does he not? It's tough. Mason McTavish and Marty Beniers have obviously been very good. And there's a few others, but as a defenseman, he's first in shorthanded time on the ice at 3 minutes and 15 seconds a game. Time on ice per game, he's second. Shots, he's second. Assists, he's third. Points, he's third. Right? He deserves, I think, some more recognition on a national or a league-wide praise. Yorkie?
Well, we could go down a whole rabbit hole here, Wally, with awards and how they're picked and how they're voted on. Like, this is the problem with major awards in the NHL. It's all based on people looking at the stat sheets and people going off what other people say. So it's really tough because, for the exception of a few guys in hockey, I'll say Elliot Friedman, for example, he watches a lot of games. Nobody else that votes on these awards is watching Jake Sanderson play. Maybe they watch the highlights.
Correct.
But it's basically, it's comical.
It's a PR campaign.
That's what it is. And it's comical. That's how the best system we can come up with to vote for major awards. But what is there? 32 teams in the league now, or whatever there is. It's humanly impossible to watch all the players in the league. So I really think that this league makes enough money where you should have a committee whose job is to strictly watch players and vote on them for major awards, and make it whatever, a bunch of retired guys that used to write and were prominent figures in that department, some retired players, some retired executives. Your job is to vote on the awards, and then you'll get it right. Because right now, it's impossible to get it right. Like, I'll take me, for example. I'm going to vote on that award. I haven't watched some of these guys play enough, but I watch Jake Sanderson play all the time, so I'm obviously very familiar with. So anyways, it is what it is. It's the best system they've got, but Sanderson's probably not going to win because he's not getting enough. The Ottawa market is so small. The voices aren't heard enough. But if you stick Jake Sanderson in Toronto, he's probably going to win this year. He'll win that award, I would say, because there'd be so much hype, so many people with the trumpets out, and then they would get momentum. That's how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. I think rookie of the year, it's tough. You got two guys that, in Beniers and McTavish that are probably going to be 1-2 is my guess, but I don't. I watch McTavish a little bit because of the Ducks and the fact that I played there. So I always put them on when I can. And he's having a nice year. The Beniers kid's having a great year. I don't watch a lot of Seattle. So I'm in this. Yeah, but I'm in the same boat. I'm a little skewed towards Sanderson. He's going through the rookie growing pains now. So, it's kind of bringing him back down in I guess, not statistical, but, the people that are voting are probably thinking that he's, coming back down to earth. All that being said, you're on a losing team, a team that's got no chance to make the playoffs now at this point.
Sure.
He's going to get a lot of ice time down the end, so maybe some eyes are on him. But I think he's going to get a lot of fifth place votes, kind of thing, third, fourth, fifth. Maybe be in the conversation to go to Vegas and be up there for the top three. But that's about it. And that's a shame because he's a hell of a year for a young kid.
We can vote for Mason McTavish because he's a local kid. I know him pretty well, so he's allowed to win Rookie of the Year if Jake Sanderson doesn't by this show standards.
No, that's
we
fine.
got to vote.
He's a great player,
and people are talking about.
How many times have you seen him play this year, Wally, from start to finish?
Oh, not a full game.
So that's the point, right? That's the point. It's like, I'm voting for McTavish.
I agree. I don't know that I don't think that the media should be voting on player awards because there's no chance that everybody in the East is watching the Western games. It's just not happening. So if you tune in to watch, if you watch an Ottawa game, say Ottawa versus Toronto, and Jake Sanderson doesn't have a good game, well, that may be it for Jake Sanderson getting votes. The same for anybody for that matter. But so it's look at the statistics and base it off statistics. I don't think that's fair, but that's the way the reality is.
Hey, it's the best. It's the best you can do with it right now. I understand it, but I just think I got a lot of friends that are writers. You got just think about this. I've been in the press box a lot since I've not to play it. It's guys are trying. They got deadlines. They got stories to get in. You're not watching the game. You're not watching the game. I'm sorry.
I concur. 100%. I agree with you. But I will say, I don't have to watch Erik Karlsson's season this year to think that he's going to likely walk away with the Norris Trophy.
How many times have you seen him play?
I would have.
5. I'm just telling you right now, he's
Start
already
to-
got a
start to
career high in
finish.
points. It doesn't matter. Tell me what other player was going to win the Norris Trophy other than Erik Karlsson, because that's all anybody's talking about.
Points. Hey, listen. I if I had to vote, I'd have to vote for him too. But it's based strictly on points, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the stats.
Bobby?
He's the only defenseman in the top 20. He's the only defenseman in the top 25, and yeah, it's a points award because that's the way it always has been since I've been in the league, and you notice who wins every year. Aside from maybe the year Duncan Keith won, I don't.
Mike
think he was
Green
in
got
the top
screwed.
eight. Yeah,
Mike
35
Green should
one
won
year, didn't he?
back to back. Yeah,
I remember
and
that one. Yeah,
he got screwed.
He was
But nonetheless,
good for a while, eh? Hey, Green was good
Yeah,
for a while
yeah.
with that.
It was incredible.
His wrister coming in late off the rush. Backstrom would find him late, top
Yep.
shelf.
yeah.
But here's a question for you guys.
But-
And listen, I'm a huge Erik Karlsson fan. I love Karl. One of my favorite players. I think he's going to win. Just to play devil's advocate, how many of those points are coming in? A 7-4 loss when Karl gets 3, and they're not really meaningful points.
Doesn't
How many
matter.
Why doesn't it matter?
Well, if Wayne Gretzky scored a bunch of empty net goals, is anybody talking about him not getting to 60 goals on the season because he scored empty netters? No.
But when Gretzky was winning those awards, his teams were winning too. That's the difference with
Not always.
We can get
He
into
only
the-
won 4.
yeah, but he wasn't on teams that were in last place that were going to potentially be a lottery team. Like it's different.
Yeah.
It's different when you get points in meaningless games. That's why you have guys that score. I think it's a lot harder to get 30 goals on a team where every single team is bringing their best against you every night versus a guy that gets 40 on a team where you're getting the majority of those goals in 6-3 losses. It's just different.
Exactly.
I
It's-
understand.
It's like what we're talking about right now with the Ottawa Senators. I'm going to say this word again. Meaningful games. Why is it harder to play when the games are meaningful? Because the pressure is different. That's
Very true.
it's so different. That's all we've been talking about here in Ottawa. Meaningful games. Yet we're going to give awards for guys that aren't playing meaningful games. Right? Does it make any
Man, you are
sense?
so
Not really.
negative. You know what? You are.
No.
You're.
It's 8:30.
You're
You're bringing me
jaded
down,
Jason.
Yorkie. It's 8:30. It's my birthday. Fuck's sake.
Your birthday's tomorrow, though. It's tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
No. It's been a week. It's a week.
It's been a week.
That's a
Hey,
birthday.
hey. It was a nice.
Yeah.
It's been a great week, boys.
Of course.
All right. Time to bring a little entertainment value, and as always, we like to promote who promotes us. So I don't know which is coming up here, but Bobby, I will give, because it's your birthday, I will let you have Renfrew. Okay, Renfrew Pro Tape is yours today. All right, Alex, whenever you're ready.
As always, the show held together very loosely by Renfrew Pro Hockey Tape, the one with the green core. Renfrew Pro continuously evolves its products to ensure that every roll of hockey tape optimizes performance, regardless of the type of stick that you use. Go to renfrewpro.com. Also, everybody knows the available at all major retailers. Never going to have a problem finding that. Everybody carries them. Renfrew Pro on Instagram. Feel the game. And as always, Friday is free Tape Friday. So join them online for, I think it's a raffle or an announcement, but the one with the green core, Renfrew Pro.
Okay, so that was so good. You're going to get BEI because it's your birthday. A little
Yeah.
gift to you.
Wow. Okay, so what's Yorkie doing? Just hanging out?
I'm way over my
to
word.
celebrate
I'm way
with you.
over my. I've said too much already today. I'm way over my word allotment.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah.
Also, the show also brought to you by, our friends over at BEI, Bonisher Excavating Incorporated, helping to shape the Ottawa Valley. Again, we talk about it every time, hiring across the board. But when you're planning your next project, consider BEI for your aggregate supply needs. Pop over to the website, bonisherexcavating.com, or give them a call at 613-432-1120. BEI, Bonisher Excavating, helping to shape the Ottawa Valley.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Now, do you want
Was that
Betano,
good?
our presenting sponsor? Yeah, no, very good.
Oh, I gotta keep. No, you do Betano. I gotta keep taking notes on this one because I haven't had to read these guys yet.
I know. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
Our show.
See my notebook.
Is proudly. I'll send you I'll write it for you. Our show is
Perfect.
proudly presented by Betano. Go to betano.ca or download the app and unlock the amazing world of sports. Always with you at Betano. Hundreds of betting options for live events and same game parlays with Bet Builder. Live in-game betting, of course, and the most competitive odds on the market. You know them. You like them. Betano also starts with a B like Brent. Betano.ca. The game starts now.
Why are you pretending to be nice and jolly? You're bitter. You're not.
No, I'm not bitter. That's the problem. You just labeled me bitter, and that's not true. Speaking of more positive energy. Ridley Greig has been recalled before we move on to some other stuff. Final note on the Sens at the moment. He gets called up, hasn't played in Ottawa since January, just before the All-Star break, and he got sent down. In 7 games in Belleville since being sent down, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. Are we happy to see Ridley Greig come back? You could see at the end, before he got sent down, he wasn't playing the way he had played at the start. We always see that with young guys. It's tough to be the same each and every night. But happy to see him back in the lineup.
Yeah, there's a few guys that I just think will be better at the NHL level than the AHL level, and I think his game translates better to the NHL game. And obviously, there was a drop off the production the first couple games when Ottawa wanted to put him in full time, and I was an advocate of that. But I still think he's an NHL player more than an AHL player. I think that the game's going to settle down, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm actually a real big fan of his, so I'm sure 15 games left, I think, guys. I think we probably see him almost the rest of the way at this point. That would be my guess.
Yeah, I think so too, Bob. I like how he plays too. He's just going to continue to get better, and it'd be a smart move getting him in for as many games as you can down the stretch here, because it's going to make him that much better when the season restarts next year. So agreed. It's came in all guns ablaze and a little bit of a slowdown, but hey, that's natural. I'm excited for this kid. I think he's got a really bright future. I
do too. I like his game a lot.
Speaking of good people, Brady Tkachuk announced yesterday, along with his fiancee Emma, that they're going to begin a new campaign with the Boys and Girls Club of Ottawa, Tkachuk's Captains, rewarding children who showcase leadership and the BGC values. Bobby, you're well aware of what it's like to give back when it comes to kids. You had Bobby Ryan's All-Stars, a box at the Sens games for your entire career in Ottawa. It can change the kid's life. There's no question. My kid wore number 12 because he met Mike Fisher early on, and that stuck with him for a long time. Like the impact that players have on kids' lives is immeasurable, and this is just another thing to show. Brady's a leader on the ice and also in the community, but you can appreciate helping out.
Yeah, I can appreciate the fact too. Like your life changes too, because we had continuous good experiences with our suite and getting to meet people. And then you develop a relationship with some of the people, and it's tough to see families going through what they were going through. But a little different situation. Him and Emma hit a home run here. Obviously, Brady's embraced the community from day one. Making it his home and finding a way to give back now. And it sounds like this, I'm sure he had help with the Sens and doing this on his own. I had a lot of help doing my thing. But this sounds like something he and Emma put together. and wanted to do on their own, and just incredible. I think we knew that about Brady. It's not surprising that something came out that he's doing something in this capacity, but well done on the two of them and giving back to the community and finding a way to help somebody in need. That might be outside the rink. It's, mine was easy at the rink. You have a suite, you're doing your thing, out of sight, out of mind, because you're playing hockey a lot of times, but this is something that's going to take up a lot, some spare time for his. And it's just an incredible endeavor. So I'm really, really proud of him.
Yeah, no, it's amazing how much Brady gets it, because it usually takes guys a while till they understand things. Like, for example, you meet a kid and a lot of guys, it's not that guys don't want to do things. It's like you don't understand the impact that you can have on a kid, on a family, and nobody knows what other people are going through. For a young guy, Brady really understands it. And you could tell when he does something. Some guys maybe go through the motions for whatever reasons. Maybe they're tired, maybe whatever's going on in their life. Brady just seems to get energized for that moment when it's a meaningful thing. And hey, he's got a great support group around him. He obviously learned from his dad, watching what he did, his brother, and Brady's mom. So great family. And, he's got a good agent. He's got good people around him, but he just takes the time. I remember at Chris Neal's, I went to Nealer's jersey retirement, and I watched Brady just around the room interacting with people, and it's how he talks to people. He's not looking at the ground. He's actually engaging, and because he understands that everybody wants a piece of him, right? And it's not that it's a tough position to be in, but Bobby knows what I'm talking about. It's just everyone's, if you have one interaction with somebody and for some reason it doesn't go well, somebody's going to judge you on that. But Brady he's very giving person from what I can see, and it's awesome. Like these things are especially in Ottawa, they're very impactful in the community, and I'm just surprised for a young guy how well he gets it, because he really does.
Yeah, he does.
He is
very gracious player.
I can't think of a guy who's come in, in the last 20 years, and it even took Alfie. I'm going to say it took Alfie a while too. Like, I don't remember anybody that came in and was this impactful almost basically from day one of being on the roster. And that may have a lot to do, as you say, with Keith, Tkachuk, and Chantel as the family that's been around hockey and understands it a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, the kid's been in the locker room forever, so it's just such an upbringing thing. Yeah, just such an upbringing thing.
All right.
Moving on.
Finally, we're going to do lock of the... And anyway, congrats to Brady Tkachuk and to Emma. You guys are always requested of your time, and for them to give up their time and to want to do that is full marks. Lock of the day. We're going to get to it before we get to story time, because there's a lot to talk about in story time. Here we go with the lock of the day, brought to you by Betano. As always, the game starts now with Betano. Download the app and get in on the action, we'll like to say. Colorado's in town. Now, they're the defending Stanley Cup champs. They won last night in OT. They're 4-0-2 in their last 6 road games. Things are going really well. Ottawa's 1-4 in its last 5 versus Colorado. Bobby Ryan, what say you today?
I'm taking the Sens. I am, for no other reason than I feel like Yorkie's going to go with Colorado, but they did play last night, which was a win in a shootout. So, not a lot of time on a quick turnaround after you travel from Toronto to Ottawa. I just think the boys are going to have some kind of response tonight after getting waxed on the road for the last 3. They're at home, they're comfortable, so I'm taking the Sens.
Yeah. No, hey, I'm kind of feeling Ottawa too. I'm feeling the response. I'm feeling the response. I think they're going to come out hard. I just think though, Colorado, they want to make sure they're playing their best hockey. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here. My only concern with Ottawa right now is the goaltending
Just
aspect.
pick.
I'm taking Colorado. I am. I'd love to see the Sens. I think Ottawa is going to beat Toronto, because the worst thing that can happen
This is
for
where
this
it starts.
franchise, the worst thing that can happen is for listen. I should be 25-8. Should never have picked.
No.
That Super Bowl picks in there. Anyhow, I'm taking Colorado.
Smart. Yeah,
Okay.
That's where the money says to go.
So I'm going to bring up a couple of points. One is Cale Makar, Mikko Rantanen, and Nathan McKinnon are all on 5-game point streaks or more. But goaltending is it like they have. Oh my God, why can't I think of his name at the moment? Georgiev has started 7 straight games, 11 of 12, 15 of 17. So I don't know that he's going to be starting tonight, but I'm going to I feel like they're going to ride him again. And this is going to maybe be, well, so they've got Jonas Johansson, who's played 1 game this season, who hasn't played in 15 games or more, maybe more, and Pavel Francouz, who hasn't played in 15 games because he was injured. And I don't know that he wasn't the backup last night. He's off of IR, but I don't think they start him. So I'm going to say it's an Ottawa surprise to Colorado.
Nice.
So the Ottawa Senators, victorious. And hey,
so
Tim Stützle got a hot hand right now.
So you're basing it on goaltender inexperience. The experience of the Ottawa Senators goaltending is going to get it done for them because they're because Colorado's goalie's inexperienced. So
I don't know. I think they've rarely do we see goaltenders play this much in a row, and so I just think it may catch up with them. That's all. That's all I got to go on. That's all I'm saying. Because listen, hockey's an interesting game where anybody beats anybody on any night, right? And so if Ottawa gets out to an early lead, maybe they can hang on. Maybe Jakob Chychrun plays 62 minutes of a 60-minute game because that's what they're going to need. Maybe.
Yeah. Any chance Shabbat's back? We don't know, right? Nothing's been said on Shabbat.
Nah, it's early.
Not as of this morning. Yeah.
9:30. Yeah.
So it wouldn't shock me for him not to be, because he's not on IR, to be in the lineup, but we don't know as of yet. Okay, long
flight. If he's swollen up, the flight's gonna.
Yeah,
it's gonna add some more time, maybe.
True.
I don't know.
Hasn't skated. Yeah. One last thing is, did you guys watch the Big City Greens animated cartoon of the Rangers Washington game that they played on ESPN? Okay, so your thoughts?
You watch it, Bob?
No, I've just seen the highlights on Instagram or whatever of the goals. I mean, it looked interesting, but no, I have zero interest in that. like beyond zero. I don't know how to get I could not be less interested in watching something like that. I just want to, if I'm watching hockey,
not your target audience.
Yeah, I am not it.
Did you like it, Wally? Did you like it?
So again, not the target audience. Like, I love the idea, the concept, the animation. That was extremely well done. And for the fact they could do play-by-play, and it was, that's pretty technically neat to watch them in an animated move all at the same time. All that. I don't want to watch it because I want to watch the game, but I'm not, again, who they're looking for. And I asked my kid who's 16, and he's like, it's okay. But it seemed like when I listened to the comments or watched them on Twitter, read them on Twitter and Instagram, there was very little negative about it. So I think of the Nickelodeon football, right? And kids love the Nickelodeon NFL football. I've watched that a bit more. But I think there's something there for that. I really think that that's a pretty cool idea by the NHL to do it. And listen, if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Yeah, not that hard.
Surprised me. I thought it was very creative. I thought it was really well done. I thought it was. I don't mind it. One game, do it. And like you said, if you don't like it, don't watch it. But I thought it was something different, something cool. And why not? Like ESPN, how many people are watching the broadcast to begin with? I don't know. Probably not a lot. So this is going to get maybe people to tune in and check it out. And I don't mind going off the grid sometimes and doing something a little different. But yeah, definitely interesting. The only thing I didn't like what they do with the goalies. Why are they changing the goalies? Like, I want to see Put the real goalie in there, like with a cartoon face or something. Like what was that in the net? Like a giant chicken or something? Like, I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
The goal.
Actually, I had never even noticed that.
All the players were cartoon versions of themselves, yet the goalie was some big cartoon character. That was the only thing I'm like, I didn't understand. But hey, for the most part, why not? Take a swing. Never a bad idea.
Why was the referee a pigeon? Should have been a zebra.
Well, like that's again, what's the target audience they're going? Are they going for the like 3 to 9 year old audience? Like that's like, oh look, there's a chicken and a zebra. Or are they going for the teenage? Because I don't know. Like I don't think a teenager is gonna like. It's more younger, wouldn't you think?
You would think.
Well, they did an interview with the referee in game. I don't know if you guys saw this, where they said, I'd like to ask and so the referee's a chicken, and he's just going bark, 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 bark.
No way. No way. Yeah. I missed that. Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
That's so good.
I don't think it's anything above 10-year-olds. But it was hey, completely creative.
If you want to hook new fans, you got to get them early, right? So get them when they're out of diapers, I guess. Get them early.
No, I appreciate the creativity of that. Yeah.
Me too. I do.
Anyway,
I like that.
All right, Alex. It's time to roll in. That's what our show's descended to. It is now time for story time. Brought to you by Renfrew Pro Tape. That's my favorite. Okay. There's a couple of things I want to bring up first before we move on. And Bobby, do you know who you share a birthday with as a former Ottawa Senator teammate?
Ooh, yeah, Christian Wolanin.
There you go. Good for you.
Yep.
I just noticed. I think he turns 27 or 28 today, or tomorrow, I guess it is. Okay. Did you guys ever go out and celebrate your birthday together?
I don't think we did. No. No, we didn't. I think the entire time I played in Ottawa, I really never had an opportunity to do it. Because we either played the next night or had, like, I think maybe once I went out for a green beer with my wife back in the day, but never, and I played on a lot of them, if I think too. So no, never really had the chance to do that with Wooly, but yeah, we had no problem finding a beer other days of the week. Didn't have to be the 17th for us back then.
Yeah. No. Okay. So there are a couple of things that happened. So on today on NHL history, you can always, I don't know if you remember this, Rocket Richard has the game where he is kicked out of the game, and on the next day, on the 17th, on your birthday, is the Rocket Richard suspension and the subsequent riot that happened during the 1955 playoffs, where he was suspended after striking linesman Cliff Thompson during a melee at the Canadiens game.
Wow.
So just a couple other interesting notes. One was Toronto forward Charlie Conacher scores 3 goals for his 12th hat trick in a 5-3 win against the visiting Canadiens in 1935. Just stay with me. But that achievement's overshadowed when he takes over for injured goalie George Hainsworth and holds the Canadiens scoreless for 3 minutes. Hainsworth leaves the game for repairs because he has a cut over his left eye and a scramble that leads to Montreal's 3rd goal. But rather than wait for his return, Toronto puts Conacher in the net wearing his regular equipment, holding a goalie stick. That's some serious cojones.
Oh. Yeah.
Because there also wouldn't have been a helmet.
Different breeds back then.
Yeah. Here's something that relates to one Bobby Ryan. 2015, Andrew Hammond makes 35 saves as an Ottawa Senator victory against Carolina Hurricanes. Hammond improves to 11-0-1 since making his first NHL start, becoming the second goalie in NHL history to allow 2 or fewer goals in each of his first 12 starts. He equals a mark set by Frank Brimsick. And then finally, I don't know if you remember this, but I'm going to see if you do. 2015-16, just keep that in mind. The Flyers used another late comeback to defeat the Pittsburgh Penguins, this time rallying from a 2-1 overtime win James Van Riemsdyk scores with 19 seconds left in the third to tie the game before Sean Couturier wins it with 3.4 seconds remaining in OT. Combined with a similar last-minute rally in overtime 23 days earlier, the Flyers become the second team in NHL history to defeat the same team multiple times in a season by scoring the tying goal in the final 30 seconds of the third period. The other is the Carolina Hurricanes, who do it against the Ottawa Senators in 2015-16. Do you remember crushing defeats by the Carolina Hurricanes in 2015-16?
Yeah, that would have been like my second year. No, I can't remember any of this stuff. Nothing crushing.
Story.
I gotta be honest, I'm not remembering
the Ottawa Senators. No, I'm shocked.
You
can't pull that.
I do remember that we we couldn't beat anybody. We could not beat them for like the longest time when I was there.
20 games.
I do remember that.
Yeah, it was 20 or 22 games.
Yeah, I do remember that. But anyway,
yeah, crazy. Okay,
yeah,
that's all I got.
So there was a lot happening there. I was on about halfway through that. I was on a putting green in Bermuda.
Story times to put Bob to bed here. Not long story.
Yeah. I thought
tuck him in.
I thought they were pretty good.
Sleepy time.
Oh, they were great. Wow. Yeah, story time and sleepy time. That's perfect. I didn't see all of that in the nerd report, but it's.
Well, I leave stuff out so that you don't know it's coming, and therefore you can sound somewhat excited when you hear it for the first time.
You lost Bobby on the story where the guy in the 30s went in the nets and stopped all the goals.
Come on now, that's Charlie Conacher.
I'm trying to figure out who's pulling into my driveway.
This show is not held together at all anymore. By the way, does your fireplace work?
Actually, I just watched a guy get out of the car. The indoor fireplace works. Now today he's coming back to do the outdoor. $1,200, dude, for gas logs and like the setup and everything. And I was like, I don't know how much this costs, so it sounds right, but like, there's not many people you can call for a second opinion. So it's like going to the vet and tells you your cat has anxiety. I'm like, did the cat tell you that? Like, I have no idea. So anyway, I'm about to get waxed.
$2,000. That's $2,000 Canadian you're spending there. $1,200.
It's not cheap, but there's and the hot tub's working now, boys. Everything's coming together down here. It's gonna be when you guys come down to film, we're gonna have a hell of a show. Yeah.
Listen, I thought you bought a new house. Why does everything need to be fixed?
Because I don't know how to do anything. So the guy literally came in and was like, "Yeah, you just had to change the batteries and then do this and this and this." So I've never done any of this before. So that, and then my kids pressed. This was kind of embarrassing. My kids pressed a button and put the hot tub into sleep mode. So it's been cold. The guy walked in, Brent, doot. He goes, "You're all set." I was like, "No, like you could have told me this over the phone when I called a week ago and made me wait." But it is what it is.
Listen, it's a funny story.
I've tried for 4 months to get you to hook up a camera to work. I'm not expecting you to work a hot tub.
I got no chance. He's knocking on the door. There he is. I'll be right back. I'm going to let him in. See.
So this is a common hot tub issues are a common problem with hockey players, Wally. I used to rent my house when I was actually playing in Nashville. I think I was in Nashville or Boston. I forget, one of those teams. Anyhow, Danny Heatley was renting my house.
Didn't someone? Oh,
the heater.
Didn't someone just move in and not move out?
That was Alfie. Alfie did that one year. He was squatting at my house. But so anyways, Bobby coming back in here.
So I'm here. Yep.
Bobby, you'll like this. So I rent my house out to the heater for a year. Heatley's renting my house.
Oh God.
But I never really talked to him during the year. I talked to his girlfriend all the time. Any issues happen, so we get a call. It's like, the hot tub's not working. It's gurgling. It's making all these noises. We're not sure what's wrong with the hot tub. I'm like, does it need water? He goes and looks. It's like, yeah, it's only half full. I'm like, we'll put some water in it.
That's it. That
was it.
That's brutal, eh? But
Like after
anyway,
a while, hot
yeah.
water evaporates, right? So problem solved. Hot tub issues.
No,
So
it's
how
very-
much
very humbling.
Yorkie do you or use your hot tub?
I like to go in the tub once a day because I'm working out again now. Got a trainer. I'm trying to get healthy. After I come back from the gym, I go in the tub. And my next thing I'm going to do, though, guys, because I did this yesterday, we went to this new little spot over in Elmer. They got the hot and the cold tubs. I got to get a cold tub for the backyard. Oh, yeah. I'm going to get one of those plunge pools. And then after golf, Bobby, a little cold plunge, hot, back and forth. But I use the hot tub every day, especially in the winter. It's awesome. Love it.
Yeah, I do too.
Always
100%.
got to have your tub.
See, we have a hot tub. I don't know. I don't know if I've used it maybe once in the last 4 months.
See,
It just sits there and sucks up energy.
I love to get up when it's cold out and just walk like 4:35, 5:30 in the morning, like a nice quick one by yourself. If you're getting up for that, like I love that. Just get back there. Sun's usually getting up around. Yeah, I'm a big early morning hot tub guy.
What are you doing up at 4:30 in the morning? Like you're retired.
I'm not a sleeper. I'm you know what? I'm working out. I'm getting the body right, and then treating it like a temple.
Wally, how far is your hot tub from your back? How far is your hot tub from your back door? That's the key. It can't be too far. How many steps?
Probably 10 steps.
Oh, you got no excuse then. That's perfect.
None. None.
Well, but I got to get to it, and then you got to open the cover, and then you got to get in. That's a lot of work.
Well, you know what? It would help you, though. It would help you with being so uptight. Get in the hot tub, relax, enjoy things.
Yeah, you need to be doing pre-show tubs. the fans want a more relaxed Wally.
Yeah, tension out of the shoulders.
Right?
Really? Listen, if I'm not uptight and got this show on a rail, it's just a mess. You're lucky to have
that. Is true. Yeah.
Then all the people on YouTube won't be coming after you every day, and you're like dodging. Everyone's coming for you. Top it up.
They're you know what? They're upset with you
Zen
too.
Wally.
Hey, I'm not the only one. I think I'm pretty chill.
Yeah, I would agree.
I keep wanting to. Maybe I should try some THC.
Legal up there, isn't it?
There's one in every strip mall in Stützle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All
right, back to story
Hey,
time.
at the very least, try it. Well, at the very least, we'll have a great show.
I'll do it after my hot
let
tub.
her fly.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I'll end up drowning in the
Perfect.
hot tub. Okay. So Yorkie, you told me you had a story to share. So I'm just going to sit here and be quiet.
Oh, I had a story to share. Oh God, what?
Do you not remember on Tuesday?
I told you guys the Nashville story after rookie dinner. Did I tell you guys that one before?
No.
Oh, boys.
Practice?
So well, rookie dinners. We all love our rookie dinners, right? And, put the disclaimer out. I'm always a guy that showed up for practice, didn't miss practices, whatever. Didn't practice the hardest, but I was a good practicer. Passes were always on the tape. That was the one thing. I always could pass the puck. But we had a rookie dinner at this place in downtown Vancouver, and it was fantastic. One of the best rookie dinners ever. Next day we have a practice. We got a couple days off. Who's the
rookies? Do you remember?
Oh boy, I'm gonna say Dan Hamhoose was one of the rookies. We didn't have a lot. I remember Hammer.
Good.
And that's all. I don't know who else. But anyhow, that's irrelevant. Barry Trotz was the coach. Good. Next day we had a skate, and it's you got to get the booze out. You got to skate it out because we play 2 days later. I wasn't feeling great when I got to practice, but I thought, I'm been in the league for a while. I'll get out here and snap it around. A couple of let's go boys. Here we go. So I lead off the first drill. get a D-to-D pass. I'm seeing 2-3 pucks. This puck like goes against the boards. I screw the whole drill up, and I'm like, Stützle blows it. Let's do it again. So right away, I know this is I can't practice like this. There's no way I can't take a pass. I might still be hammered from the rookie dinner, and because we got in so late and it's early practice. So the rest of the practice, a 45-minute practice, I did not do a single drill. I went around from line to line, and I pretended I was doing the drills. So I'd go skate around. Come on, boys, let's go. Skate it out. Let's go. Then I'd go to the back of the line, and I'd shuffle through the line. Then we go to another drill. I'd do the same thing. So for the next 40 minutes, I faked my way through a practice, not doing one drill, and because I there's no way I could have done the drills. But anyways, yeah, I did a great job of faking my way through practice.
See, that's easy as a D-man because you all had the same color jersey, so you could just blend as much as you can. But when you have 4 different jerseys on offense, you can't do it. And I remember we had to hide a guy in South Florida one time. And this guy, I mean, not only do we not know this person was hammered, could barely stand up. And like when he was standing on skates, his feet were going forward and his eyes were going back. So we're like literally we had him in line, and then we were like, all right. I'm going to go. And then he would just fall. He was almost like a shadow up and down. And like, coach is just standing there like, I'm not an idiot. Just tell him not to get hurt at this point. So I if you got away with it, I think it's incredible. I think, and it's always great when it's not you, but I'm looking at this poor guy and I'm like, your day is going to be so friggin' bad after like, but the best, you're not sweating it out.
The best part, I went to the steamer in the hotel after, but the best part of it is you got to like embrace it. You got to skate by the coaches and you skate by because they see you. Like, come on, Trotzy, let's get this practice going, and then skate back to a line, and it's so you're kind of like it's like a mirage. You're there, then you're not. You're in, you're out. But you're like, okay, I see him, and then the practice ended, and I had done 1 rep of the entire practice. I did the first rep, and that was it.
That's incredible. That is so.
I did. By the way, you can always a lot easier on the road and a lot easier before Twitter, but you could. Like, I do remember guys showing up that were probably still inebriated going through practice, but because there's such few people covering road media, you get away with it a lot easier. 2010 outdoor game is Boston against Philadelphia at Fenway Park, but it's always on New Year's Day. And New Year's Eve, there was free alcohol at the Ritz-Carlton in Boston, to which my cameraman and I enjoyed some, and the next day I was an absolute train wreck to where I put my head down at the start of the game and woke up with the first period stat sheet laying on my face.
No,
never saw
well
it.
done.
Never saw the first period. And so
well done.
They're announcing, and Brian Burke is there to announce the 2010 Olympic team. So the day got longer and longer because I had to do it after the game. I wanted out of that day so badly. So don't ask me about that game.
That's incredible.
All right. Not one of my better that's when I said I'm never having alcohol, because I used to never drink the day before a game. Like, even I call it game night. I would never do anything the night before a game. That was probably one mistake I made. Is that Yorkie? Do you have anything else? Bobby, do you have a story, or is that it? You got the fireplace guy.
Yeah,
you got the fireplace guy. I'll just tell you real quick. I don't know. Our Nashville, it was in Nashville, this rookie party, and it started early in the day. A lot of guys didn't make it anywhere past dinner. Some guys had to be. It was one of the bigger ones, but we sent these guys out with a scavenger hunt. I can't remember actually. I think it was Cody Cece's rookie party, Robin Leonard. So it was a big one. We had a lot of guys that year, and scavenger hunt, you have to have proof. So it's like all sorts of different things, but somehow there was a snake in the mix, and this is where Robin Leonard started collecting snakes and buying them. But it started that day in Nashville. I think that might have been his first. I'm not sure if it was his first snake, but we had to sneak it. The snake was about this big, and I'm terrified of him. And he named him Bubby after me because I was so terrified of it. But the snake we were like, you have to just put it, on the sidewalk or something. You can't take it here. And he said, no, I'm bringing it home. I said, you can't bring a snake through customs. He said, I'm bringing the snake home. He put it in a DiGiorno, a Parmesan cheese container and wrapped it up and put it in there and brought him back over customs. So the long and short part of the story is this is how the collection started. But this guy brought a snake back from the States through customs into Canada. I remember, I'll never forget him. He walked in with a cowboy hat on and he had a snake in his pocket. I was like, "Is this for real?" So it was one of my favorite ones.
What a beauty! What a beauty!
I have a lot of questions.
Favorite guys.
He lived across the street. He lived across the street from me in Canada, and he came over one day, and he was thinking of buying my house because I told him I was going to move, and he didn't care about the kitchen. He didn't care about anything. All he wanted to know was my wall space big enough in the basement so he could fit a shark tank. That was his main concern. Do you have enough space for a shark tank?
So
I'm like, yeah, I think so. I think you could do it.
So it's Alfie's house he lived in. He bought Alfie's house, and I'm told he ruined the basement because the tanks flooded.
Oh, dude, I remember walking in there and the smell would be coming through the floor, and it was just all fish tanks and it was so gross and really interesting to go down there. And I only went once or twice to see all of them, and it was cool to see all the fish, but at the same time, it's like that. It's just a lot happening, and the walls everything smelled because that many in such a concentrated area. I know they had to fumigate that house numerous times after he moved out.
So the last thing was he was trying to bring in all these animals. He, as far as I know, was trying to bring penguins in. He thought they could live in the environment with the pool in the backyard.
Let's get some ice cubes.
I do remember having a conversation about penguins, and I was like, dude, I don't think it's legal, but if you do, like, I'm gonna come hug one. I would go hang out with a penguin. So I was like, if you get them, let me know. I don't know if they're nice, if they're if they're meat, but yeah, I was like, I would love to see it. I do remember having that conversation.
It's so good.
What a great guy. What a great guy.
He is.
I enjoyed him. He's very entertaining. Well, speaking of entertaining, that's it for our show. We will be back on Monday. Until then, Bobby, we want you to enjoy your birthday and whatever your dinner may entail. So have a fantastic
out Monday
weekend.
Right, you guys. I'm out Monday because I'll be traveling for my birthday, but I will be home Tuesday and I'll be ready to go with some good stories. So hold down the fort, Yorkie.
Gotta dig deep. Gotta dig deep.
We will do that. All right, take care. One last thing. We just want to send you off with a happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bobby.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Thanks, fellas. I could feel the enthusiasm. It was great. Thank you so much, boys.
That's pretty good. Have a good day, Bob.
See you, everybody.
All right. See you guys. Take care.
Good one.
Have a beer for me.
Coming in Hot is brought to you by betano.ca. Please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to never miss an episode.